Yes, yes, boys. Ryjack back here for another live stream. Today, we are here to talk about the weekend's fixture for City, Southampton away. So, only a couple games left in the Premier League. Obviously, still the FA Cup final. Very excited to dive in and discuss some of what's going on, the race for Champions League, do a little lineup builder with you guys, and of course, check on transfers because that's the big thing we do here on this channel is transfers. Anyway, before we do start, very much appreciate all the new people. So do like, sub, and comment if you guys are new. We're on a goal for 150 subs. Very close to that. So much appreciated as always. If you like my short form content or you like that in general, check out my YouTube Shorts page or my TikTok, which are both linked obviously in the video. So you can check those out as well. Anyway, let's talk about Southampton and City. First note of business relative to the game. I will 100% be doing a live stream, live watch along for the game. Saturday, it'll be 10 a.m. for me. I think that's 3 o'clock for the people over in the UK. It's at St. Mary's, of course, the return fixture for Southampton and City this season. Now, I can't stress this enough. From what I have watched of Southampton this year, they may be the worst Premier League team I've ever watched in my life. They are abysmal. And unfortunately, the way the rules are set up and the way the Premier League kind of goes, the teams that come up seemingly are the teams that are just destined to go back down. I don't know if it's the deal with PSR where they can't spend or they just are terrible at spending, but I know last year the three teams that came up went down. This year, same deal. So I don't know. That's kind of boring. Maybe they can do something to fix that. But man, talk about just an awful watch. Southampton are just terrible. They're just not any good at all. If we do, I'm gonna look and see if it shows their main starting 11. This is what started the last game. Of course, they are already relegated, so they have nothing to play for, but I guess pride and, maybe prove that some of these guys are good enough to get a transfer to a team that's going to be in the Prem next season and prove they're too good to play the championship, even though, they've got, 11 points or something? Yeah, 11 points out of it's 82 goals conceded. It's just putrid watching Southampton play. Anyway, the lineup they went with last game is over here on the right. Stewart up front, Sulemana, Fernandez, Manning, Ukachukwu, Downs, Kyle Walker-Peters, someone who's been not linked, but I know a lot of City fans have mentioned him as maybe a good squad player. I think that's probably passed on and is, not going to happen. Taylor Harwood-Bellis, former Man City man, who by all accounts is decent. Maybe he'll get a move to a better club who's, not fighting relegation every season. Bednarik, Stevens, and Aaron Ramsdale in goal, or whatever his name is. Jack Ramsdale, what's his name? Anyway, he'll probably get a move. I don't think he's been terrible for them or anything like that. But like I said, Southampton are probably the worst team I've seen in the last 10 years or so. 11 points. I don't know what the record is. I think it's 10 maybe for Derby. Back in the day, Derby County, 10 points. But that could be wrong. Just a really tough, bad season for them, and it is what it is. What are you gonna do? So while I don't want to put much of the focus on Southampton because this is really more about us. It's more about City. Just as long as we take care of our business, we should be fine. Have no problems whatsoever. If we look at the actual table, and it is relevant, of course. Only 3 points behind Arsenal at the moment. Would be more of like a for fun type thing that we got past Arsenal in one of their better seasons. Now I actually think this is one of their worst seasons. Although they made it to Champions League final, they are significantly less competitive in the Premier League. Whereas the last couple seasons they've been right there going for it. This one there's just been they haven't been close at any point. So, I don't know. Seems like it's a worse season in my eyes, even though they did make it to the Champions League semis. Now, City sitting on 64 points, 1 point ahead of Newcastle and Chelsea. Of course, top 5 gets Champions League this season, as we all know by now. Forest right on their tails, very close. We have the goal difference, so really up 4 points on them, which is pretty huge, and 4 actual points on Aston Villa as well. So of the games this weekend, clearly City have the easiest game of them all, Southampton. Chelsea and Newcastle do play each other, so someone's dropping points there, obviously. Forest play Leicester, you'd expect them to win. And then Villa have Bournemouth. Should be a tough one as they're right there in 8th. So I don't know. I feel like a win puts us on 67 points with 2 games remaining. I mean, that's probably enough, most likely, in my mind. A win, I'm not going to say mathematically locks us in, but it's basically locked in. Like, we could probably lose both our final 2 games and still get at least 5th, I would think, based on how the math works there. Probably. It would have to be some sort of crazy goal difference swing to not get it with Forest like passing us, but yeah, I think we'd be fine on 67 points with 2 games remaining. So that's what's at stake, Hopefully we can get this done, over with, not worry about it. Last 2 games of the year, we can maybe get some of the kids in, maybe see Oscar Bob come back into the squad, maybe see some Claudio Echeverri. Kusanov could come back in. Vitor Hayes potentially as well would be nice, of course, to see. So as far as injuries, if we're going to talk about that as well, John Stone's still out. Ake still injured. Rodri has been training apparently for multiple weeks now. I guess it's possible he makes the bench. I wouldn't be expecting him to make the bench this game, especially just because it's Southampton. We don't need Rodri rushing back to play Southampton or anything. If it was the FA Cup final, maybe he plays, but it is just Southampton. And I don't mean to throw shade on Southampton, but man, you guys just are such a bore to watch, unfortunately. Such a bore. Anyway, as far as them, they have no major injuries or anything like that. City in form. Clearly, we've won 5 games in a row. Very nice. This would be, I believe, 5 in a row in the Prem. I could be wrong, but I think that's correct. Take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it would be our 5th win in the Premier League in a row, which is a fantastic way to end the season and head in, very positive mindset into next weekend's FA Cup final against Palace, which is clearly a much bigger game than this one, but still a big game nonetheless. Nothing's locked in yet. We do want this locked in so we can put all the focus here and then kind of relax with these last 2 games of the season before we have a huge summer of the Club World Cup. Would be nice. Would be very nice. So, with all of that said, let's look at a lineup builder here and just get into it and then give my score prediction. I do think Ederson will start, of course. He's our number 1, and even though he's leaving in the summer, he's the best option we have at the moment. The back line. Do we change the back line? I think there's potential there that we see some rotation. You could see maybe a Kanji start. But I don't know. We've only been playing once a week, and the back line's been doing extremely well. A lot of clean sheets recently. So, although Nico O'Reilly did not have his best game of the season last game out, I'm going to say we're going to keep the back line as is. If we need to sub out O'Reilly because he struggles again, then Gvardiol can always move to left back like he did in the previous game. Ruben Diaz there at the right-sided center back, and Mateus Nunes out on the right side as the right back. I just think this is solid. They're building some sort of chemistry together, and I think this is what Pep is going to roll with. Now, the midfield's interesting because do we see the return of Nico Gonzalez? I have been predicting him basically in all my lineups recently, saying surely he's in, surely he's back in the squad, and it just hasn't happened. I don't think he's played he hasn't started the last 3 Premier League games. So I'm going to go one more time and predict that Nico G is back in the lineup because it's Southampton. Surely that's a game Pep thinks we can roll with that. you know? Nico, there he is. Nico Gonzalez as my holding midfielder there. Now, Kev is obviously leaving in the summer, so I'm going to go with Kev starts. Maybe it's just sort of like a respect thing where Kev just continually plays, and that's what we're going to do. The other center mid, you have Kovacic, you have Bernardo, you have Gundogan. And I guess potentially you have Jack Grealish as well, but with Kev there, it's probably not going to be Grealish. So in my head, I see Pep playing Bernardo Silva, probably. And that's the midfield three that we're working with. The other potential sort of thought I have is Haaland back into the team? And I think the answer is maybe. Maybe he doesn't start, but he's going to be on the bench at least. So for now, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to say McAtee is our false 9 type role, and Marmoush is here out on the left, and he kind of is in a very advanced position with McAtee like this. On the right, I'm not entirely sure yet. I would love to start Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob is my favorite winger we have. But again, we're not really playing with wingers at the moment. We're more so overloading the midfield. At least recently, that's what we've been doing. So maybe this right wing is actually Bernardo, who cuts inside, and this is maybe Kovacic or something, or Gundogan. That's possible. And the more that I say it, the more I think we'll see Gundogan, because Pep probably knows this guy can't get many more games in at City, and we got to play him while we can. That's not what I would do personally. I think I'd like to see the young guys integrated. I'd like to see the return of Phil Foden, but maybe it's still in the books to continue resting him, and maybe it turns into something kind of like this 4-2-2 that we've seen a lot recently, where, I mean, McAtee can go out there, Bernardo can come in here, go out here. Kev has this full freedom to go across. I don't know exactly how Pep does this. Nothing's ever straightforward exactly with the guy, but that's kind of what I see happening is we're going with less wingers and overloading the midfield is my guess. I don't even know how to line it up exactly, but that's how weird that looks is how I kind of see it looking in game, at least. Maybe Gundogan is a bit more advanced and Nico's a bit deeper. Something kind of like that, which is weird, and I know, but this is kind of what we've been doing, this 4-2-2 formation, and it seemingly is maybe this is what we do to get through the end of the season, and then in the summer, new tactics, new kind of squad overhaul, we change some stuff up, or Pep likes this and integrates the new guys to do this system. Who knows? But it's a away game. It's at Southampton. I don't know that we'll necessarily blow them away, but I could see a 3-1 win for City. So I think that's what I'll go with. I think Haaland comes off the bench for maybe the last 20 minutes and gets a goal. So that's my thought, at least at the time, for the time being. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Give me a score prediction. Give me your lineups if you want to do that as well. And what do you think of the new sort of no winger situation that we're doing at the moment? I don't know if I like it, but we're winning games, and I don't really care about how pretty we look at the moment. I'm much more interested in what's going to get us the results, what's going to get us over the line, get us to that Champions League spot, because that's really all I care about. That, and of course the FA Cup in about a week or 10 days or so. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. As always, I do appreciate it. Leave a like I said, and check me out on TikTok and Twitter. Those are linked in the description as well. So I will see you guys whenever there's some more news as well as